fellow Toastmasters and guests, the jewels of Lakeland. Greetings from the other side of the ocean, District 79, Saudi Arabia. And from me, good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Albert Einstein once said, a ship is always safe at the shore, but that it's not what it's built for. Tonight, I'm going to share with you the story, because my project is about storytelling. The story of Sonny boy, who left from one comfort zone to the next during his life. Like a ship, he left the shore to sail in the oceans of success. Sonny boy was born in North Africa, and from his birth, he had a comfortable life. He was pampered by his parents, who were both lawyers. And even when he grew up and he graduated from college, they decided his fate. As his father said to him, son, you're going into a law school. But dad, there are no ifs and buts. A law school, this is a tradition, we keep it in the family. But Sonny boy had a different dream. Growing in a country which had a lot of sunshine on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, hotel management was his dream. After one unhappy year at the law school, Sonny boy made a decision to take matters in his hand and leave his comfort zone, when he actually surprised his parents by telling them, I'm leaving to the UK to study hotel management. I've just got a scholarship. Now, none of his family members has ever traveled abroad. His education was in French. And at that time, you could barely make a complete sentence correct in English. And yet, he left his comfort zone and he landed in the UK in December of 1973. Now, Sonny boy still remembers the first conversation he had with his old landlady, Mrs. Lumpkin, in the guest house where he would spend 4 years. As she asked him, what's your name, son? He gave her the full whack, a long and twisted name that she couldn't even pronounce. So she looked at him and said, wow, that's a mouthful. Do you mind if I call you Sonny? Yeah, okay. But the word boy came the following morning when she served him breakfast, a sumptuous plate of beautiful breakfast. He looked at it with a suspicion and he reacted. Mais dis donc, c'est quoi ça alors? She looked at him and said, English, please. So he said, what this? So poor lady, she thought that he wanted to learn English. So with a smile, she explained to him, these are eggs, sausages, hashed potato, and bacon. So he replied with his broken English and French accent, me know that, but is bacon from pork? She said, that's good, you're learning, bacon is from pork. So he pushed the plate and said, me eat no pork, take. Ladies and gentlemen, you should have seen her face, quite rightly so. She put her hands around her hips and she said to him, listen, Sonny boy, you don't eat bacon, I understand. But in this country, we say please and thank you. So he pushed the plate again. He said, okay, please, thank you, now take. And that's the time, ladies and gentlemen, he had the name in 1974 called as Sonny boy. That's how he looked like. Now, guess what? A week later, Sonny boy was sitting in the dining room, shouting to his lady in the kitchen, Mrs. Lumpkin, may I have another portion of pork bacon, please? That's what you call adjusting to the English culture. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 mesmerizing years after this incident have passed by, and Sonny boy graduated with flying colors to join a 5-star hotel in London as a junior manager, and he got promoted after that. And yet, he decided to leave his comfort zone again, as in January of 1979, he landed in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to work as the general manager in a 5-star hotel, where he had 25 years of comfortable time, looking after so many dignitaries. To mention some, George Bush, the father, Colin Powell, Dick Cheney, some also anchors like Tisha Mapoor, Don Brother, and some of you might know, as they all lived in the same hotel during the Gulf War. But the ship of Sonny Boy continued to sail in the oceans of success, as in January of 2004, he decided to leave his comfort zone again to join a hospital, not a hotel, as a CEO, a hospital which belonged to one of his friends, which was on the verge of bankruptcy. And yet he wrote another success story, as this hospital, after 15 years, it's now one of the top-ranked and the most profitable hospitals. Apart from using his leadership skills, Sonny Boy had a little motto which he embraced, and that is, I make business a pleasure, and I make my pleasure my business, and this motto works. Now, the moral of my story, ladies and gentlemen, a comfort zone is always a safe and peaceful place, but nothing grows there. You see, the big tragedy in life is to look back at all the opportunities we have missed, and simply because we didn't have the courage to step out of our comfort zone and answer the door when the opportunity knocked. The good news is there is still hope, and there's plenty of opportunities out there. All we need is courage to step out of that comfort zone, to unleash the potential, to awaken the giant within us so that we can achieve our dreams no matter what. So, remember this, when you have an opportunity, answer the door when it knocks. And if you have no door, well, build one. Back to you, Toastmaster.